So definitely a storyline from start to finish this year will be how the Dallas Cowboys fare and how that will be part of the all-in strategy and how the Cowboys will handle the pressures that Jerry Jones is placing on them, because there are a whole bunch of folks who are looking for contracts and are still waiting for them here at a late stage of a summer, or aren't going to get them like their coach unless they succeed this year, and anybody else who might be in that boat. And how do they handle those pressures if, say, 500 start is still going on in the middle of October? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then do we go back and say it's because of the way they built the roster this year and went all in on it and didn't supplement it? Ian Rappaport said an hour or two. He goes, you look at how really deep their roster is thanks to their drafting strategy, and what free agents really could have helped and been. I mentioned Derrick Henry. He pointed out, well, they don't really want to pay for running backs. That's a different strategy and whatever. If in any way, shape, or form the all-in strategy doesn't pay off, we will be looking at this entire 2024 campaign through the lens of the way the 2023 campaign ended, because that was the day that Jerry Jones started to take a look and started reaching out to people like Jimmy Johnson saying, what do I do about the coaching staff? What do you think about Belichick? What do you think about what I should do with the roster? And they go into Alabama at the Senior Bowl and say, we're all in on it. And it all was born out of the day the Green Bay Packers eliminated the Dallas Cowboys. And if part of the all-in strategy includes not signing Dak Prescott, or the all-in strategy is that they wanted to sign Dak, but it was just too damn expensive for them to figure it out prior to the season, and if that doesn't work as part of their all-in strategy, you could also blame the guy, in part, you could blame the guy who was, in part, the reason why the 2023 season ended the way it did. And that guy's name is Jordan Love. Mm-hmm. Bounced him out of the 2023 season, got paid $55 million before the 2024 season. Both sealing the lid on the boiling pot atop the Dak Prescott situation that we see today. Go figure that. Jordan Love. Because Dak's still unsigned, and every single time he's not, and he's in front of a microphone, he's got to answer questions about how he's dealing with it. That matters. I don't know if it does. We'll see. Again, we'll find out as the crucible of the season plays out. This is the conversation Dak had with my colleague Jane Slater while I was still at home dealing with what I was dealing with last week with the Rona and all that. So Jane Slater spoke with Dak on Back Together weekend NFL Network coverage from Oxnard, California on Saturday.
It's definitely not the money. I guess you said a little bit of it is the respect. And at the same sense, what motivates me is just coming out here each and every day and getting better. And being able to control that, I'm at peace with. And that's where the freedom comes from, this is what I love more than anything. Being out here on this grass with my teammates, sharing the game, getting better at the game, that when you focus on that, the money comes. And as you said, these other guys, they're the ones, I guess, setting the bar and that. And as I said, it's an obligation that I have to my team, my family, and to the rest of the quarterbacks in the NFL.
Boy, that's a lot of people he's responsible for. His family, his bottom line, other quarterbacks in the NFL, where he's not going to reset the market. Ian Rappaport, hour two, said if Dak hits the open market in free agency in 2025, he will be the biggest free agent ever. And I said, first $60 million a year player. He said, keep going up. It's always higher.
65?
And you could be like, really? What has he ever done? The top 8 current best paid quarterbacks on an annual basis in the National Football League have a combined playoff record in their careers of 16 and 17. 3 Super Bowl appearances combined, 0 wins. So Dak fits in well as of right now with 0 Super Bowl wins.
He's the only one you ever hear, though.
And he doesn't jack up the number of Super Bowl appearances. And he keeps the playoff career record right around 500. So he fits in terms of the guys who are being paid the most in the NFL, because that's what the market will bear. And somebody who is never going to have your phone ring in the middle of the night because he did something stupid. And some guy who will always represent you perfectly. And some guy who can throw for 4,000 yards in a season. And some guy who can get your team as the 1 seed or the 2 seed in a regular season entering the playoffs. He can do that. And then all he's got to do is catch fire with the right roster and the right coaching around him. And then all of a sudden, he does have that ring because he has that ability, which is why he's going to make that money. And the Cowboys have to know it. And if he's saying, I'm free, I have a sort of peace about me because I know my worth. And on top of it, I know I don't have to, like, there's no rule that I have to play for Dallas.
I want Dak to hit free agency so badly. Just for the content. Sorry, TJ.
No,
So-
Chris, I completely agree, because all those people who always trash him, say this, that, and the third about him, are going to want him on their team, except for maybe like 8 teams. Other than that, you'd probably want him.
I also want to see him ask for and probably get $70 million. We're just going to skip over the 60s.
Put up the Cowboys schedule, will you, please? Just how the drama's going to play out, too. At Cleveland, home for the Saints, home for the Ravens, Thursday night at the Giants, at the Steelers. Put a pin in that for a sec.
The first 6 weeks.
Home for the Lions, then there's a bye, then the ultimate. The ultimate. This is the ultimate. Is the all-in strategy working or not? Anything, and again, I know that ultimate, the answer to that question will be most on display in the playoffs when it's truly the ultimate. But in terms of regular season, at San Francisco, any different? Will it at least be a 1-score game by halftime, right?
Fingers crossed.
At Atlanta, home for Philly, home for Houston on a Monday night, whole country tuning in to see if the Texans can suddenly become the best team in Texas, period. You certainly lasted longer last year. Mm-hmm. Then you get the first of 2 against Washington. You finish up against the Giants on a Thanksgiving. Cincinnati, at Carolina, Tampa, at Philly, and then Washington. It's just going to be one
Great. It's going to be great.
soap opera, 18 soap operas.
How's this for a what-if scenario, TJ? And it might be your worst nightmare. What if Brock Purdy is struggling, right, this year to start the season, not playing well? Dak goes into San Francisco, wins, flips it. The Cowboys wax the Niners. Now we're talking about, should the Niners sign Dak after this
that's
season?
absurd. Don't be so stupid. Don't. Now you're just trolling the guy over there. Because I'll tell you what.
He's not trolling me.
No,
He's
because
trolling the entire information.
No,
I don't have patience to jack with you today.
Because I think here's what I think. I think Purdy might beat Dak to the 60 million barrier.
Well, the way Jerry's
It's one of the
doing it,
two.
he will be.
How good, though, does Purdy have to play this year to get that? Like, what kind of stats, what kind of record, how far
just
do they
look
have to
like
go?
Jordan Love. He's already proven it. He's already proven it. Please tell me we're through the is Purdy elite, really good quarterback. Please tell me we're through
I'm
that.
not, but what if he struggles this year?
I don't think he will. How does that sound?
Again, great. You can think that. I'm just saying,
No,
what if?
you're getting us off topic, Chris. Which is
Purdy's the new Dak.
no, he's not. Oh, how is he? He played in Super Bowl.
Purdy's been to a Super Bowl.
You kidding me? He's been to a Super Bowl.
That's because he has a super team.
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
This is
He still got there.
I can't believe the Cowboys are letting this thing go even longer.
Yes, you can, Rich. I think in your heart,
No, because it's just only maybe they're sitting here thinking all the signings at quarterbackers, we're done now. At least we're through it. At least we know 55 is the what we got to beat. And I don't think Dak is in the mood of being 56, 57, 58. I don't know. I shouldn't speak for him. But that's where we are.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.